Hey, just a reminder, the am I the asshole posts aren't always for everyone to agree on. It's okay. That's like the spirit of am I the asshole, They're here asking for a reason because there is potential that somebody might go against what they believe or agree with them. Who knows? It's a wild thing. Us human beings and our differing opinions and stuff, we'll be okay. No need to be weird. No need to leave me a short essay that can't even make it into the video because you used the N-word at one point, by the way. You know who I'm talking to, specific guy, because I've seen you leave a couple comments. I don't know what happened to you that one day where you left that N-word, but that that's not going to pop up on the video, right? At all. Like, YouTube will not allow it. I'm just saying. It's wild. You'd be surprised the kind of comments you receive, but I don't want to bring too much attention to it. Just know I see you. Stop. That's life. Anyways, I'm the asshole for not giving up my seat for a pregnant lady in the subway. All right. 27 female, took the subway back home after a horrible sleepless 36-hour shift at the hospital. Internal medicine resident here, okay? I was so tired that I was literally afraid I'd have an accident if I drive, so I left my car in the parking lot. The subway was packed, and I was lucky I got a seat in the first place. I even dozed off a few times meanwhile and only woke up to the announcements. This heavily pregnant lady walked in and stood uncomfortably. She looked at me kind of in a strange way. She ultimately said that she would like me to give up my seat for her. I was like, I genuinely am beyond tired. I can't handle standing at the moment. She asked if I had a disease or a problem. Okay. Yes. I would have just been like, yeah, I'm dying. Like, I literally have 2 or 3 days to live. I need this seat. Just lie. Just a little white lie. She'll be all right. Anyways, I just said I was tired. Other people sitting were old, etc. I looked like the best option, actually. She called me inconsiderate, and one of the older people sitting stood up and gave their seat for her. My roommate at home told me I was a huge asshole and I should have just sucked it up. Honestly, I'm not convinced, and I'm asking internet strangers for a more objective opinion. I mean, I'm going to be real with you. I don't think you're a huge asshole because I get that you were tired. But if I was in your situation, I'm giving up the seat. I've been in the very similar positions. A 36-hour shift is crazy. I've never been through a 36-hour shift. You're borderline about to die. You know what I mean? So I can't honestly say that I completely understand where you're coming from, but I've definitely had I've been up for over 24 hours. And I understand how much it sucks to function. But if I was in your situation, I probably would just hand it over the seat. Not the asshole. I think the lady would have been more understanding if you explained that you've been up for 36 hours straight. Probably not. They probably wouldn't think of that. Sorry, but pregnant or not, the lady wasn't owed an explanation. Not the asshole, and quite frankly, the fact that we have people making life or death decisions for their patients that have been awake for 36 hours is straight horrifying. True. Wow. A lot of not the asshole. Not all disabilities are visible, and I would certainly classify awake for 36 straight hours as temporary disability. That can cause physical, cognitive, and behavioral symptoms, including hallucinations. True, it can. You shouldn't drive when you've been awake for that long because it's like being drunk. So, but I mean, my verdict still stands. What was my verdict? My verdict was, I don't think you're an asshole, but if I was in your situation, I probably would have just given up the seat. Yeah, I probably still stand by that. I stand by the fact that you're not an asshole because you were obviously, it's not like you were doing it just because you're like, just screw this lady, and you got your 8 hours of sleep last night. But I don't know. I think I just have whatever. I'll deal with it, I guess. Sure, you can have the seat. I'm very tired. I feel like I'm about to pass out if I try to stand up, but you know what? You're pregnant, so. But I think the a-hole here is the hospital, too exhausted to drive, but here, have a life in your hands. Yeah. On a train so packed that there was not a single seat available, was there really no other young able-bodied person who could offer their seat? That is strange. I don't exactly remember, to be honest. Yeah, probably because you've been awake for 36 hours. Anyways, let's see some people calling you an asshole. Pregnancy is a choice, not a disability. Reddit moment. I guess. People have to work to live. No one has to have a child. But so is a job, and staying awake 36 hours. So hard decision now? What? I mean, what? But I agree with this guy. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be super harsh on the person that's having a kid. I understand. You're carrying a human inside you. You're, very upset all the time. You're always hungry. I get it. I feel you. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of physical strain. But a job, like, I don't need to have a kid in order to keep a roof over my head, but I do need to go to work. You know what I'm saying? First come, first serve. I know my opinion makes me an asshole, but people who choose to get pregnant and then act like the world owes them something really get on my nerves. Not the asshole. Nobody's entitled to anybody's seat solely because they're on the population replacement team. I should have taken in mind that I'm on Reddit. So the odds of people being like, she's pregnant, you should have killed her, like, relatively high. They're not very pro kid here. But yeah, I mean, I agree that you're not the asshole on this situation. Even if I would have done a different thing and I don't think that makes me a good person because I do that. I think I literally would just be like, if somebody asked me and she was pregnant, I'd be like, you know what? Fine. All right. I think there's also like that's such an awkward thing to ask somebody, because if you're in front of a bunch of people, everyone's going to be looking at you like, really? You're not going to offer her your seat? Things go a lot differently in person than they do on Reddit. I'm sure in their head, everyone's thinking, you tell that pregnant bitch to go die. But then in person, they're like, sure, whatever. Sorry, you're the asshole. I've been there. 48 hours, no sleep. Hadn't had anything to eat in 12 hours, but I'll be damned if a pregnant woman is standing up while I have a seat to give. Expect more of yourself, even when you think you've given everything. This person is a medical professional, supposedly. Supporting protecting pregnant women. IMO, this is bait. People know how much Reddit hates pregnant women, especially single low-income ones. Hey man, what did I say? I'm pregnant and would never ask someone to give up their seat for me. Pregnancy is not a disability. You're the asshole if you're in the USA. Shifts are not allowed to be longer than 24 hours with up to 6 added hours for continuity of care and education. So you would not have been there for an hour after hour 30. If you're there no longer, or if you're there for longer, it's your responsibility to report it, not to endure it to the point of disabling exhaustion. I'm a physician. I've been pregnant twice. Why would they be an asshole for being overworked? Even if they had a 24-hour shift or a 30-hour shift, they still would have been just as tired and just as deserving of a seat. I mean, yeah, even if you couldn't have been there after hour 30, but even if you were up to 30 hours, I mean, bro, like, just being up for 24 hours straight is already, you're already going to be at that level where you're technically intoxicated. I think is not technically, like, there, you're going to path a breathalyzer, but like you're out of it enough to be considered intoxicated on that front. It's reckless driving. And I know this because I used to work for a place where we had to track our driving hours. And they're very strict about that type of thing, because if you're awake for too long, you're not as good at driving. Your reaction time is way slower. So yes, even if it's 24 or 30 hours as opposed to 36, still not that safe to drive. However, maybe you'd be fine standing, and if you wanted to make that point, you'd say you'd be fine standing. I don't understand how that makes her the asshole if the shift is long, unless she's lying. I've been up for 36 hours straight, saving lives. She's growing a human being, and her choice, okay. I kind of wonder. Sorry, but you're the asshole. Internal medicine resident, okay. You're the asshole, been there. Where's the, I scrolled up and I'm dumb. You're the asshole if you're in the USA. Sorry, I think I'm going to consider it, not the asshole. Sorry, but I'm going to say asshole. As much as you're not obliged to give a detailed explanation of why you're so tired, she's also not obliged to give medical details of her pregnancy. I guess. Aside from the physical weight and discomfort of being heavily pregnant, there can be a lot of other issues that could have been affecting her that she might have not wanted to share. Balance is also affected a lot in pregnancy. It can make you really clumsy and you can fall easily. Her worst case scenario from not having a seat would be falling over in a moving train and hurting her baby. Your worst case would be not being able to rest. She needed that seat. Young people don't realize how rough it is to be pregnant OP was falling asleep on the train. The worst case scenario if OP had been standing would be her passing out or falling asleep while standing and falling over, thus hurting herself or someone else. What if she fell over on someone or caused a domino effect on the people standing? I mean, they both could have fallen, I guess, is the lesson of the day. Sorry, but you're the asshole. We live in a society that was built upon helping each other. The entitlement here on Reddit is unbelievable. Her fault for getting pregnant. Listen, you guys are fucking... No, Reddit is notoriously harsh on pregnant women for whatever reason. And, you know, pregnant women are notoriously harsh because they're pregnant. And they're going through a lot. I still just flat out don't consider you to be the asshole. But, you know, it's like, I think maybe it's because I think it's maybe because the way I was raised, it's like my default to be like, oh, you're pregnant? I'll get up. It's like a default thing, regardless of how tired I am, you know, whatever, you know, I'll lean up against, like, I'm not going to fall over. I'm going to be leaned up against whatever. But who knows, man? I don't know. Different types of situations, I guess. Anyways, not the asshole.